From the very first frame, you know something huge is about to crack open in Tulsa, but nobody expected the shockwave to arrive wearing Samuel L. Jackson's trademark smirk. Imagine settling in for what feels like a normal build-up episode and suddenly witnessing a character who storms into the story with the kind of energy that instantly shifts the balance of power. That's exactly how Russell Lee Washington Jr. enters. He doesn't walk in quietly. He detonates into the plot, stepping out of the shadows with a hit job that looks like it came straight out of a cold-blooded noir film. But the real hook is what comes next. Because instead of being just another threat sent to eliminate Dwight Manfredi, Russell arrives carrying a 20-year-old debt, a twisted sense of loyalty, and a spin-off's worth of potential. From the very first frame, you know something huge is about to crack open in Tulsa, but nobody expected the shockwave to arrive wearing Samuel L. Jackson's trademark smirk. Imagine settling in for what feels like a normal build-up episode and suddenly witnessing a character who storms into the story with the kind of energy that instantly shifts the balance of power. That's exactly how Russell Lee Washington Jr. enters. He doesn't walk in quietly. He detonates into the plot, stepping out of the shadows with a hit job that looks like it came straight out of a cold-blooded noir film. But the real hook is what comes next. Because instead of being just another threat sent to eliminate Dwight Manfredi, Russell arrives carrying a 20-year-old debt, a twisted sense of loyalty, and a spin-off's worth of potential. The moment he appears in Tulsa, you can feel the pulse of the episode change. Dwight strolls into Bread to Buck, thinking it's an ordinary night, maybe a drink, maybe a quick check on the crew, but instead he finds himself staring at a ghost from a past he didn't expect to revisit. Russell doesn't play coy. He lays it out immediately. Quiet Ray Ranzati wants Dwight dead, has wanted it for a while, and hired Russell to finish the job. But instead of pulling the trigger, Russell slides into the conversation with that unpredictable calm that says he already made his decision before stepping into the room. He's not here to kill Dwight. He's here to warn him, and that decision sparks a chain reaction that neither of them can walk away from cleanly. Ray, of course, doesn't appreciate being double-crossed, and when someone with Ray's reputation gets annoyed, the fallout is quick, messy, and usually painful. But Russell isn't the only fire heading toward Tulsa. Mitch's contact at a local motel notices something strange. Unfamiliar cars, unfamiliar faces, and the unmistakable vibe of trouble imported straight from New York. Ray didn't just send one man. He sent reinforcements who don't care about debts or warnings. They care about finishing the mission, and that means the looming danger around Dwight grows thicker by the hour. While Dwight slowly pieces things together, Russell is wrestling with the weight of the past, trying to repay what he believes he owes, even if it puts a target squarely on his own back. Later, when Russell arrives at Dwight's house, the tension snaps tight again. He looks like a man ready to finally carry out the kill order. The atmosphere is charged. The pause just long enough to make anybody watching hold their breath. But then he chooses, again, to spare Dwight. The two of them slip into something strangely friendly. Two seasoned men trading dreams and plans, as if one wasn't sent to murder the other. Russell talks about his ambitions in the bayou, setting up a new empire in New Orleans. A move that perfectly aligns with the spin-off waiting in the wings. It's one of those moments where characters who should be enemies instead end up bonding over survival, ambition, and the long memories that shape their choices. The uneasy alliance doesn't stay idle for long. Dwight and Russell team up for what they jokingly call a meet and greet, but really, it's a potential showdown that could go sideways in seconds. They drive to the motel where Ray's backup crew is staying, prepared for anything except how fast things escalate. What begins as reconnaissance quickly turns into an explosive confrontation, leaving the scene swarmed with police lights moments later. Vince, Ray's loyal but increasingly annoyed sidekick, watches from a distance, taking mental notes and plotting his next move. He knows Russell disobeyed orders. He knows Dwight is still alive, and he knows Ray won't let either of those things slide. While all this chaos unfolds, the Montague Distillery storyline is heating up too, pushing Jeremiah Dunmire into full-scale panic mode. His distribution contracts are collapsing under the blowback of Dwight's expanding empire. The man is furious, seething, and not thinking straight. When bad news hits, his rage nearly spills over into violence against Cole. But instead of striking the messenger, Jeremiah shifts into retaliation mode, and that's when he makes a brutal call. Send his men after Joanne. In the world of Tulsa King, that kind of order rarely ends neatly, and her fate immediately becomes one of the episode's most unsettling cliffhangers. Tyson and Spencer, meanwhile, are forging ahead with their ecstasy business, now backed by Bodie's manufacturing skills. Their confidence is high, maybe too high, as they step into a new club expecting smooth sales. Instead, they run into hostility fast. The club operators don't want outsiders muscling in, and the entire scene becomes a reminder that ambition in Tulsa is a dangerous game. Every move Dwight's crew makes, no matter how small, stirs conflict with people who are just as hungry for control. For Tyson and Spencer, it's another test of loyalty and resilience, one that could push them into deeper trouble later. But Tulsa isn't all danger and betrayal. Mitch, who's had his share of heartbreak and chaos, gets one of the episode's few moments of warmth. Cleo returns, shaken by the bomb incident, but more afraid of what it means to stay away. Her arrival is quiet but meaningful, a rare breath of hope in a storm of violence. Mitch doesn't need a speech to understand what her presence means. Sometimes the loudest truths come from simply showing up. It's the kind of emotional beat that Tulsa King sprinkles between gunfights and threats, reminding viewers that even gangsters want connection. As the episode pushes toward its final stretch, the pressure builds on every front. Ray's plans are unraveling, his hitman disobedient, his backup crew compromised, yet he's far from done. Russell, now fully committed to protecting Dwight, knows he's living on borrowed time. The number of enemies stacking against them grows, and every step forward feels like walking through shifting sand. Dwight, despite all the warnings, tries to keep his crew calm, but everyone senses the storm that's about to break. The penultimate episode doesn't resolve the chaos, it amplifies it, setting up a finale that promises high stakes, broken alliances, and decisions that can't be undone. By the time the credits roll, one thing is clear. This episode wasn't just about introducing Samuel L. Jackson's character. It was about setting off a fuse that will burn through both Tulsa King and the upcoming Nola King. Russell's choices reshape alliances. Jeremiah's rage expands the battlefield, and Ray's desperation tightens the noose around everyone involved. Each storyline pushes the characters closer to a collision that feels inevitable and deadly. The tension is alive, humming beneath every scene, leaving viewers leaning forward, waiting to see who survives the final showdown and who gets crushed under the weight of the decisions made in this explosive, unforgettable hour.